Welcome back, everyone. This is Arafellin playing Magical Bringer Korona the movie. Last time was pretty eventful. We had tea time, which was more challenging than would have been expected. We had a beach trip where another demon lord popped up out of the ocean, the demon lord Leviathan, who has come back to visit the castle with them. We had a dinner time where the demon lords were talking about having a sushi party that Korona wants no part of, and then in the middle of the night, she realized she'd forgotten to ask about where the bathrooms are. And had another run-in with Leviathan, who realized that she had been jealous when Belith wouldn't let her participate in hide-and-seek. But here we are, the next morning, and Korona is waking up. That wasn't great.
I stretch in the morning sun shining in from the window. No TV, limited lighting, not even radio waves coming in. With that sort of a night, I had no choice but to get to bed right away. Early to bed, so I wake refreshed. Normally, I take advantage of summer vacation to sleep until I'm dragged out of bed by Mom.
Aren't you always dragged out of bed by Mizuki, whether it's summer vacation or any other day?
Hey, you read my mind again. Cut it out and quit invading my privacy.
Speaking of which, Korona, my experiences run through you, so doesn't that go both ways? Besides, with no one to hear our conversation, invading means nothing.
Osiris and me talk in my head so a third party can't hear our exchanges. It's the same when Osiris is out of my body as the Black Demon Sword. Once I tried to let Subaru-chan hear Osiris' voice and got yelled at. We're completely fused all the way to the spirit, so letting someone else hear us talk is unreasonable, he says. It's not actually impossible, but as Osiris puts it, it's as dangerous as taking your brain out of your body. I'm not so desperate to let someone else hear Osiris' voice that I'm ready to face that kind of danger. But there are two people around who can hear the demon sword anyway, and they are... One is Noel-chan. That's, well, saying she's a demon lord pretty much covers the why. With as much magical power as Noel-chan has, she should be able to hear the demon sword easily. The hypothetical there is since I still don't have proof positive. Osiris clams up and hardly talks around Noel-chan, and Noel-chan never talks about the demon sword either. Demon lord and demon sword, they never try to come in contact. There isn't the hostility like before, so I've tried suggesting it a few times that Osiris try and talk to Noel-chan.
It is not to be.
Maybe since he's got his body made of metal, but he's got a pretty rigid head, too.
But excuse me for being rigid.
And the other is Yuka-chan. Only when she's using the relics, but she can hear Osiris' voice. He's not guarded like with Noel-chan, and ever since we fought together in the struggle for the demon sword, Yuka-chan and Osiris have had light-hearted conversations. The surprising thing is the ability this short sword relic has, the power to cleave what the eye cannot see, like space and spirits. As a side effect, it specializes the user's sixth sense, drastically heightening spiritual perception, in synergy with the Genbu mirror, blah blah, something or other. Or so Osiris said. I don't really get it, but it seems to be pretty exceptional. Osiris has seen a lot over the course of 12,000 years, but even he was surprised at the relic.
Still, it remains well beneath me.
Hey, Osiris, quit reading my mind and butting in!
It's not like anyone's listening, so what's the big deal?
That's beside the point!
Korona, who are you so upset at so early in the morning, yeah?
Well, Noel-san, how did you get in here?
Window?
Come in the door next time. Are you so upset up, Nyal? Said Nyal-san to my carelessly vocalized jab at Osiris. I guess anything less than Noel-chan and you just can't hear the demon sword's voice. Wait, Livia-san's a demon lord too. Could she hear his voice? But if I said something like, try talking in front of Livia-san as a test, Osiris would probably object.
Sleep good last night, yeah?
Yeah, I slept real well. I'm feeling great thanks to it.
Good, good. So, wanna come with me on a little walk before morning chow, yeah?
Sure. A walk on a morning with such nice weather would be a pleasure.
Then I'll be waiting at the gate, so hurry up and come, yeah?
No sooner did she hear my answer, but Nyal-san leapt out the window. This room is in a pretty high place, but the Catharian landed with nimble ease and is looking up here from the garden. Come on, I said use the door.
No, you said to come in through the door, but you never said not to go out through the window.
Cut it out, you're no Ikkyu-san.
This is a reference to Ikkyu Sojin, an eccentric 13th century Japanese Zen Buddhist priest and poet. He's considered a folk hero to Japanese children. He's known for outsmarting his teachers and other authority figures. Korona's reference, especially since she calls him Ikkyu-san as opposed to something else, is probably specifically a reference to the anime Ikkyu-san, which is based on the historical figure, features him as a mischievous child. So basically she's telling us here is, stop trying to be clever. It's not working. So we're heading out the castle, through the courtyard, to the gate, and here's Nyal. Shortly. I guess we're going straight into the walk then.
So my point is, I wish you'd come in through the door and go out through the door.
Geez, what a pain, yeah? And when we went to your house, it was all take off your shoes. How come you're so fussy about the silly little details, yeah?
When in Rome, Raim Romano, right?
The Korona is misquoting the proverb, Go ni ireba go ni shitagae. Roughly, when you enter a land, conform to the land, which is equivalent to English when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Except instead of saying Go ni shitagae, he says Go Hiromi, who is a well-known Japanese singer. I thought Ray Romano seemed like a suitably well-known person with a similar enough name to Rome to make that kind of work. Huh?
Anyway, that's how my country is. Come in the door, go out the door, take off your shoes and houses, left hand rice, right hand chopsticks. It's just common sense, okay?
So, in your country, do cats come in the door and go out the door?
No, it doesn't apply to cats.
I'm half cat, yeah? Which means it's halfway got nothing to do with me, yeah?
Hey, that's no fair.
It's no use complaining to a cat. And it's a bad habit of humans trying to make you follow their customs, yeah? Living life bound by invisible chains like that, I say forget it, yeah?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, you wanna fight, damn it? Bring it on, yeah?
Oh, it's on, yeah. Transform!
You get an abbreviated version of her transformation. Like I mentioned, we never see the full sequence again. You big dummy, you seriously want to fight?
Huh? Did I misread where this was going?
Yeah, halfway.
Oh, sorry.
But the other half is right, yeah? I'm feeling like a match with you for a change.
Then it really is headed this way.
Yeah, ha ha ha, don't underestimate me. I'm sure you haven't forgotten where this is. The Demon Realm's our turf, yeah? The human world in here are as different as Kawasaki Stadium and Koshien Stadium. From the flames-spewing Moloch Temple to the noisy flow of the Rocco Mountain Wind, yeah?
That makes no sense. And Nyal-san, aren't you a cat and not a tiger?
Okay, all this deserves a little explanation. Kawasaki Stadium and in Kawasaki, Koshien Stadium's near Kobe. They're baseball stadiums in Japan, though that much shouldn't be too difficult to figure out. Moloch is either an ancient Middle Eastern god or a type of sacrifice associated with fire. The Roko is a high mountain chain in Japan. Roko Oroshi, which I translated as the flow of the mountain wind, is literally the wind blowing off the Roko Mountains, but it's also the popular name of the Hanshin Tigers baseball team's fight song. That's the team based in Koshien Stadium, which is where her comment about tigers comes from. I'm not sure how Moloch works into either baseball in general or Kawasaki in particular, so it's probably just something thrown in for the whole, biblical type literary references thing. In any case. Oh no, demons are at full power when we're in the demon realm. I'm especially tigerish now. No, I am a tiger! Tiger, nya! I'm a tiger, nya! And we're about to fight, so I'll save here before we go into it. This is Nyal's combat theme. Again, like many of the characters who are returning from the previous game, this is a re-instrumented, slight remix of the previous theme, so her combat theme in Korona 1 was basically this, but different instrumentation, less flourishes. Like the organ going in the background there I don't think was in the original. Or if it is, it wasn't as noticeable. You also notice, if you've been watching along with the other battles, Nyal is rather more durable than anyone we fought so far. Of course, so far the only battles we fought have been basically a play fight with Noel as the opening tutorial kind of battle. Then a fight with Belith, who is not really a fighter. And then there was the fight with Playa. Playa is fast, and she hits kind of hard, but she's never been durable. That's been a recurring thing, is her defense is kind of paper-thin. But again, she was ridiculously fast, so the battle dragged on for a while because she kept getting attack round after attack round after attack round. Nyal is a more normal speed. Now, she does have the regen ability that gives her some regeneration. It's pretty negligible. It will drag on the battle a little bit faster. I think she recovers something like 2% of her health every round. Yeah, at the end of each of her turn, she recovers 2% of her max health. But at this point, like, one hit takes off that much, so not a big deal. She also has 2 different special attacks available, which we might see. We'll probably see one or the other at least. But wait until we get to that point. Korona is charged up to level 1, so we'll see Korona Desperado her next round. Some nice flourishes going on the music. That was an unusually regular attack round. Yeah, here's an extra flourish that wasn't in the original version of the music. The colored version. Yeah, something I've been noticing on the recordings that I don't see when I play live is sometimes the screen will white out briefly when it does something like that. Or when a section of the screen changes, there'll be a brief white rectangle. Nice storm thing. Anyway, those do not appear on the screen when I'm playing live, and I'm not sure why they're in the recording. But they are. She still's not using a special attack. Surprising. We are getting random enter attacks in her attack rounds, which you definitely want to block because, as the manual mentioned, they hurt more than regular attacks. Yeah, and because the music is MP3s, they don't really loop. So you'll get brief bits of silence like that. It is possible to make music loop with MP3s, but I'm not sure this particular engine supports it, and it does require more trouble because you need to say, when you get to this timestamp in the music, jump to this timestamp. Here we go. Give this the Double Fang Slicer or Invisible Predator. Ready-ah! Special attack! Kick! Okay, this is Double Fang Slicer. The Crawling Chaos. And a cat may go for the kick. Double Fang Slicer. Yeah, the Crawling Chaos is a reference to the Lovecraft. The Naruto type character that she's named after, who is also known as the Crawling Chaos or Creeping Chaos. I think it's Crawling. Either way. Anyway, I don't think we've seen Korona's level 2 special attack before. It's a bit silly in this game. But the basic idea is Osiris briefly transformed into an energy cannon, and yeah. It's a long-range attack. This will also negate one of Nyal's special abilities that we didn't see, because it's long-range. And that's game, or battle. Ow, 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 ow. So, I think we've been going about 15 minutes or so we can go a little longer. Anyway, the other line, a cat may look at a king, that is a saying that dates back to the 16th century at least. It's associated with insulation or insubordinance in the face of authority, which kind of fits Nyal's personality. She's, like Korona, doesn't have much respect for formality or any of that stuff. In any case.
Yay! I win!
Damn it. I might have been able to win if it were tomorrow.
Huh? Tomorrow?
Right, tomorrow. Oh, you'll understand when the time comes, yeah? Okay, that was a good workout, so let's get back to the walk. The goal's just ahead, yeah?
Ah! Dazzling sunlight engulfed us once we cleared the forest. Thin morning fog hangs over a large river. The water glitters in the sun. Maybe the beach where we played yesterday is nearby, since the fresh breeze flowing from downstream carries a salty fragrance. Plants with heads like cattails grow by the water. Little fairies fly pleasantly above them. They are surprised to see us, but instead curtsy in greeting. Fairies! How cute! They're not scared of us.
We kicked the monsters out from around the castle, so it's safe, yeah? So lots of fairies have moved in. Noel-sama says she wants to have more places be like this, yeah?
Wow, Noel-chan's such a good lord.
Oh yeah, Noel-sama's the best master, yeah? But it's only when the sun's out that this area is safe, yeah? Once it's night, the dangerous ones wake up and it's an eat-or-be-eaten battle royale.
Whoa!
Anyway, day's dawn now, so it's these guys' time, yeah? Any sleep-eyed monsters loitering around, I kick them back to their dens. Doesn't look like there's any today, though.
Huh? You mean this walk?
Right, it's a patrol.
Then tell me sooner. It would be dangerous if there were many monsters left.
What are you saying? You're the girl who beat up Noel-sama, yeah? I was thinking I'd show you a basilisk or two as long as you're here in the demon realm. But I hear you're going to the canyon today, so look forward to your big adventure then, yeah? Yeah, ha 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 ha. Ah, too bad.
Ah, wait up! Yelsen heads back with a raucous laughter. I rushed to chase after her. I looked back a little on leaving, and there spread the refreshing waterside as before. A perilous time of roaming monsters and a tranquil time of fairies. Elizabeth Castle oversees the balance. The strong protect the weak in coexistence. I had no idea. That we've been living together, heard each other, shaken hands, and finally become friends? I don't know a thing about her.
I think we'll go one more scene. Although we have this interrupting.
Breakfast is over, and now it's the cool morning period. We have our notebooks out on desks in the saloon, digesting our homework for summer break. To be more accurate, the only one doing homework is me. Subaru-chan and Yuka-chan got their homework finished up back in July, and now they're on independent study. Lilith-chan hung around for a while talking to Subaru-chan and stuff, but went boring and left somewhere. Must be nice. Demons don't have school or tests.
Oh? Noel-chan's making great efforts in ways we don't see.
Yeah, it was a pretty place. I would have liked to show you, too. Hey, let's go together tomorrow.
Sure, I'd love to see it myself. Yoshihime-san, are you coming too? Oh, yes.
What's up? Something on your mind?
Yes, I found it surprising when I heard Beth-chan mention it at the beach as well. For the demon Lord Noel to have a reign like this, it's like some kind of noblesse oblige setup.
Huh? Noblesse what now?
Noblesse obliged, nobility is obligated to be noble. It's the notion that the privileged, like kings and the wealthy, should use their power to benefit the commoners.
First I've heard the term.
It's not widely known in Japan. Politicians, bureaucrats, CEOs, they only use their money on themselves. The motto of the privileged serving the commoners died out in the Meiji area, which was the period of Japanese history from roughly 1868 to 1912.
Yeah, you really don't hear about the big shots in Japan doing good deeds. Though it seems the economy's bad lately, so maybe it's inevitable. From watching TV, the bad stories are the overwhelmingly common ones. Using billions in taxes to build facilities up in the mountains where no one's going to use them. CEOs releasing Enka CDs just to puff up their own egos. Every time I see something like that, I always think, such a waste. If they have that kind of money, they could do so much to help so many people.
Overseas, noblesse oblige is a basic unwritten rule of society. Building international universities and cultural establishments, sinking trillions into healthcare, not so much in the US. The Nobel Prize is another establishment that a private individual founded. They seek the true meaning of greatness rather than simply having authority or money.
How cool! I wonder if we could do something like that in Japan, too.
I doubt merely hoping for it will do any good, but in any case, let's get back on topic. It was surprising that the demon lord Noel would rule in such a way as to protect the weak. That heartless and destructive demon lord?
Maybe you don't know since we were always fighting when you two met, but Noel-chan is actually nice and thinks about the people around her.
She was trying to kill us.
That was then, this is now. I believe in Noel-chan, even if you object. That's what being friends is.
And Subaru starts to say something when all of a sudden, the maid bounces into the scene again.
How wonderful. Whoa, Raim-san, how long have you been here?
I see your reaction is rather milder after a day has gone by. Regardless, I was most impressed. Not for nothing has Noel-sama chosen you. Such deep love and generosity, like Siddhartha Gautama. Such a fine gift is truly wasted on humanity. Siddhartha Gautama, in case you're not familiar with that name, he's the founder of Buddhism, better known as the Buddha. If you so wish it. No, such words are too lofty for one so lowly as I. How shameful of me. Senpai, was Raim-san always like this?
It's me.
That was most impolite of me. I shall state my business. Korona-sama, Noel-sama calls for you, so please proceed to the throne room.
Noel-chan?
This undoubtedly concerns today's canyon excursion.
Oh, it's almost time for me to go? Got it, I'll be right there. See you later, then.
And I think we'll stop here. Next time, we'll be going on a trip to a canyon. This has been Arifellen playing Magical Bringer Korona the movie, and I hope to see you next time.